Hello everyone, welcome back to the Back Post. Today we've got a big video. It is a Chelsea versus Spurs match preview. Always excited for these ones. How you doing, Josh?
Always not excited for these ones, especially this time. Really not excited. No, I have had my weekend plans scuppered. I was supposed to be having with all my mates in Newcastle, and I'm symptomless, but I've got the Rona J. So I'm really hoping that Tottenham do come through and pull some form of joy out of this weekend. A bit like when it was your birthday and Chelsea lost, like a reverse of that situation.
Mate, that was one of the worst birthdays, right? Because I swear Chelsea lost, and I swear like we watched the boxing on the night. I swear that was when AJ lost as well. Maybe
I think I was
it was
ill.
just a terrible day.
I remember
It was
being on the
such a
sofa
terrible.
being ill, watching Dele Alli score 2 headers. So that's good. So hopefully something like that. I'll know more after. Tottenham are in a bit of a state, I would say, at the moment, which is weird because we've still won 3 or 4. But we'll have maybe a better idea of how things go after the Stade Rennes game in the Conference League tonight. How much rotation there'll be there, how well we'll actually play. I already have my theory that we will have lost to Palace, lost in the conference, or maybe draw and lose to Chelsea, and that kind of form going into the North London derby will allow us to win the North London derby. So that's my theory. 2-2 Tottenham Rennes. And it didn't go well. Perfect result for Jay. We lost Mora and Bergwijn. Hopefully it's not too serious. And hopefully they can be fit for Chelsea, because we'll do a lineup later, and I mentioned those 2 names because I don't think Son's going to be available, but God knows. So I'm sorry for the lineup. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Son or Bergwijn or Mora out, and maybe it'll be Hill, Ali, and Ndombele or Jack Clark. I don't know. We ended the Europa League game with Hill, Emerson Royale and Dane Scarlett up front. So, good. Bye. So thanks for watching, guys.
I think it's a solid theory. Like it really, like you can just see that happening and you won't be surprised. But I think your lack of confidence for this game almost worries me, because I think we've been here before, haven't we on the channel, where you've really not been confident for a Spurs game. I've been felt with loads of confidence going into the game, and we've just come away from it losing. It's like I feel like that's happened so many times on the channel. So I'm worried. I wasn't worried, but now I'm worried. But like you said, you are a bit. It's a bit mad right now. You got so many injuries, haven't you? Like your defense is just, and obviously with the Tanganga red, like your defense is just.
Well, exactly.
The
first thing you said to me was, "Did you write a starting 11?" And I've got it in my head, and I need to just caveat, Jay, that I don't know. Like there's so many variables. Like I think I know who will play, but I'm gonna have to give this weird starting 11 where I say this it'll be who plays unless this. Like it's a weird one.
Yeah,
and there's so many.
There's loads of asterisks.
Yeah, and before we mention it, I haven't forgotten about Harry Winks. I'm taking him out of any predicted starting lineup, and I'm flinging him over there. If he does start, which he may very well, I don't care. I'm not predicting that. I'm not dooming Tottenham in such a way. We'll start Winks if you start Loftus-Cheek.
I mean, Loftus-Cheek got 2 minutes against Zenit the other night.
He's ready.
He's warmed up and ready, mate. So don't say a bad word of Loftus.
No, so before we go into the lineups, I will just do a very unusual thing on this channel, and I'm not gonna use the word praise, but that word, there's not much to say really, is there? Like, obviously, I disagree with Chelsea. This isn't me praising Chelsea, but you can take that outside and you can look at just the team now. I don't, like how Chelsea have become Chelsea, but if you look at just the players now.
Mm-hmm.
I can detach myself from that and praise that. Like, you had one missing ingredient last season, and you got that missing ingredient, and yes, he cost you £100 million, and that's cheap for the player he is. Chelsea can afford to do that. One of the few clubs in the world that can, in the grand scheme of things, that can afford to spend £100 million on a missing piece. But yeah, especially with our defence, Lukaku's going to have a great time. Unless Nuno does something really clever. there is a glimmer of hope. I hope Nuno really studies the Aston Villa game and the Zenit game, and if he can build on what those two teams did to nullify Chelsea, there's a chance there, because they're, as much as Chelsea are one of the best teams in England, I think they are probably most likely to win the league, maybe, unless City kick on, but then the striker thing. There is a chance we can do what we did against City, really, really keep it tight, keep it horrible, make it a horrible, horrible game, and maybe get a goal on the break. I don't think that will happen, but there is a chance we can learn from some wins, yet questionable performances from Chelsea's last 2 games, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think you've made a very fair point there, because the Villa game especially, they could have drew that game quite easily.
They could have
really
won that game
could have.
They just also shit the bed. It was so weird. Like Chelsea, fair enough. Yeah, they did. Lukaku, again, fair enough, but weird, weird time.
Yeah, it was quite strange, and I think our defence is a very strong thing. We've kept a lot of clean sheets, and I think Tuchel, one of the first things he did was shore up that defence. But we were definitely exposed in both those games that you're talking about. So there are weaknesses to expose, and also, like you said, without Lukaku, I don't think we definitely don't win the last 2 games, because he's had 3 chances in the last 2 games and had 3 goals from them. He's just so clinical, so good, and he's the difference maker. So obviously, I have confidence in him against your defence, but without him, I don't think we'd be in such a great position. So there are definitely weaknesses to exploit with Chelsea, and it's just if Nuno can see that, and if he will see that, because I don't think he's a terrible coach, but will he see that, and then what will Tuchel do, and who will he play to kind of not allow that that staleness to happen? Because I think that you've already mentioned it, Tottenham will try and make this game horrible for us. Try and really make it a bit of a dogfight, make us really have a lot of the possession, but have the break is down, and that's something we've struggled with consistently for a long time now. So it'll be interesting to see what we do to tackle that. Do you want to get into the lineups?
Yeah, why not?
I'll get into mine real quick.
You go first,
because I think it's pretty simple.
I've got mine in my head, but I'm having doubts now, because I've just had a thought. When we start rolling the camera, and I've got my 4-2-3-1 in my head, and I've just thought, hang on a minute, hang on.
Okay, but, well, you sort that out. Let me run through mine. So I think of course it's Mendy in goal. I think it's either Asby, Silva, or Rudiger, or Asby, Christensen, Rudiger. I think Silva hasn't played loads yet. I think he's still getting up to speed because of not starting the season. Going away with Brazil. Did he go away with Brazil? No, he didn't go away with Brazil. So I don't really know. It'll either be Silva or Christensen in that position. I think I'm going to go for Silva because it's a big game. And we're going to want, him on Harry Kane, basically. Reece James is a wing-back. Alonso is a wing-back. Poor Chilwell. He got 10 minutes in the last game, but I think Alonso is that wing-back position right now.
Sorry to interrupt you, but if anyone wants to place a bet on, bet safely.
Yeah.
But Alonso against Spurs is always a great fucking bet to put on.
He loves it. He loves it. He absolutely loves a game against you lot. And then Kovacic, Jorginho in the middle. Saul had a terrible debut. And I think he needs to be integrated properly. And in a big game like this, is probably not the time. I think we need, because if Aston Villa saw weaknesses in him, Tottenham can find the same weaknesses in him. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just think he needs to be integrated properly. So I go for Kovacic and Jorginho. And then the front three is the interesting bit, because as I said, we're going to want to try and break his down. So Lukaku's a no-brainer. He goes in there, but who plays alongside him? And
is it two in behind him, sort of flanking him either side in that system?
That's the normal kind of system. So I think I think there's 4 names, solid names. That it's Mason, it's Mason, Ziyech, Havertz, or Werner. Those are the 4. I got picked 2 out of those 4. Werner hasn't played much this season. I don't know what's going on there. The Zenit game would have been perfect for him, but Tuchel just absolutely hates him for some reason. We don't know why, but I think a game like this would be perfect for Werner to play alongside Lukaku, because he could break the line, he can break play, he can drag players away. I think it'd be perfect. So. I kind of want that, but I don't think he will. I think he so yes. So I'm thinking it'll be Mount and Havertz because that seems to be the strongest front three. But I just want to have it on record that I think it should be Mount and Werner for this one, just because I think Werner could bring a lot to that game. So that's my lineup. What's yours, mate?
God, right. I apologise if this is... I'm going to go with this sort of I don't like Tottenham playing three at the back. I'm not a fan at all. However, with Chelsea playing the three at the back, I think it's important that we maybe match them up in that sense. And because of our defensive fragility and, Dyer weirdly being the standout player of the season, maybe bar Son at the start, maybe we have to defend. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the three at the back. I'm going to go with Lloris, obviously, in net. And I think the back three speaks for itself because Dyer's injured and Tanganga's got a red. And I think you play Romero because I think he's fully fit. He was ready to play the Argentina game, but he just, got deported. So I don't think it's an injury problem. Sanchez, I think, is also available after going away with Brazil. I think we've slapped a fine on him, but I think he's ready to play. And I think you have to put Gomez. I don't know who Gomez is.
Gomez.
I'm very tired.
Get Gomez in.
Get Gomez on.
The old Watford keeper.
Well, you see, the old Tottenham keeper, mate. How fucking dare you?
Sorry. Get Gomez in.
No, Rodon. I don't know where that came from, but Rodon because
Gomez and Rodon.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I think he needs to convince me again. I was more excited about him last season than I am this season, but the alternative is Ben Davies with our current injury record, and he was atrocious against Palace. So I think those three
bad
as a back three, and I think if you have that base of a back three, you can then. They haven't proven it yet. Obviously, Royale has had one game, but on paper, Reguilon and Royale excite me. That is an exciting full-back, wing-back partnership. They're gonna love to get forward. And I'm excited.
Yeah, and if you have counter-attacking opportunities, if you are sitting deep, you're going to want, especially Reguilon whipping it forward and getting it to Kane, aren't you?
Because I've seen one thing that says Son is hopeful to be back for Chelsea. He might make the bench, but I personally don't think he'll feature at all. I think it's too soon for him.
You don't want to rush him, do you?
No, absolutely not, if he gets injured. So, to provide that sort of pace and directness that will be missing with Son. Yeah, and that's what I'll say. Reguilon and Emerson Royale, young, exciting fullbacks. Emerson Royale had a really good debut, a few shaky moments, but it was his debut, and we were down to 10 men. He had a really good time with Zaha. He did really well with Zaha until Tottenham sort of started to flounder a bit. I would love to be able to sit here and say Højbjerg and Ndombele in the mid two. I think in an ideal world, that is what would happen, but I don't think that will happen because I think Ndombele might feature tonight, and unless he really impresses, and Nuno goes, "Oh my God, I was wrong, you sexy baller," that won't happen. And so I think we will keep it quite boring, and we will just be shutting Chelsea down with a midfield two of Højbjerg and Skip. I think that is the way we'll do it. Just no football for you, Chelsea. And then up top, I guess we're going with. Yeah, going off script here again, sorry. I wrote Bergwijn, Lucas and Kane, but after Ren, I'm going to have to just put it into the universe that Son will be back. So, Son, Ali, Kane, front three, come on, please. Or Ndombele, I don't know. No, I'm sticking with those. Come on, please. Back to the real video.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. I definitely think it's wise to match Chelsea. That's what Villa did, and I think the 3-0 scoreline was so flattering to us that game. So I definitely think that's probably what teams are going to start doing against us, and it's just to see. It'll be interesting to see how Tuchel adapts with that for sure.
Yeah. So time for the worst bit, Jay. Score predictions. What do you think?
I am confident. I think we have a lot. We've had a strong start to this season. We've shown a lot. We've got Lukaku. Tuchel's a genius. I'm quite confident. I'm gonna say 2-0, and I think Lukaku will definitely get one, and the other one will be I think a good shout is Alonso, isn't it? Alonso free kick. So 2-0.
Yeah, that's very exciting. For me, yeah, to be honest, my negative side says 2-1. We could see someone weird like a Bergwijn scoring. Sorry, my eyes are just glazing over because there is a man delivering there. I'm just going to have to go talk to him. 1 second. Sorry, pal. If you just want to leave it, just...
Yeah, can I just take a name, please?
Yeah, you can. It's Josh.
Josh?
Park. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah.
that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm interested to see how you edit that.
That's so awkward because you don't want to be like, this is a COVID household, stay the fuck away. But like...
Yeah.
Go
away.
Anyway, yeah, no, so for me, yeah, I can really negatively see a 2-1, maybe someone really weird like a Bergwijn getting the 1, but yeah, Alonso and Lukaku making it a sad weekend, but for hope reasons, I can see Lukaku getting a goal and as a 1-1. I'm going to say a 1-1, Jay. That's my hopeful prediction.
Okay.
But if you're reading between the lines, you'd probably take my prediction as a 2-1 defeat. But 1-1.
Brilliant. Well, that's it. That's the preview. I hope you enjoyed it.
Get your predictions in down below.
Absolutely. Get your comments in.
Do it. Ace.
Do it right now. Press subscribe as well. We'd really appreciate if you did that. We are trying to push for 1,000 still. I feel like I've been saying that for ages, but we'd love to get to 1,000. It would mean the world to us. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please do it. And if you're watching this and not subscribed, and your dad isn't subscribed, you should tell him.
But also, stay tuned to things are happening, aren't they, Jay? Like small little movements and in the channel, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that soon. So stay tuned, and hopefully things are happening, and the tap's running in the kitchen now, and it's time to go. It's time to end the podcast.
In a bit.
Tell your dads. Thank you very much. Come on, you
Spurs,
please.